encore. Je m'appelle Colby ou McPenguin. If you folks have seen me through like YouTube, welcome. And this is your first time with me, welcome. This is the, I believe, fourth lesson, French lesson that I've started with my friend Cindy. And so, um, well, let's get into it. I'm gonna let Cindy in on my Zoom account, and then we're gonna get into it. If you folks haven't seen any of the previous videos, take a look at. I'm gonna create a playlist maybe on my YouTube channel, Mr. McPenguin. Also, feel free to give a follow, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it. Bonjour Cindy, comment ça va? No worries.
Bien.
Bien ou ça va bien?
Sure.
Ça va bien. Comme ci, comme ça.
Come ça.
All right, all right, all right, all right. All right. So, welcome back, Cindy. Thank you so much for joining me again.
You
And
guys can
so,
see how much I did not review this week before class.
no worries, no worries. It's okay. It's been a busy week for all of us. Especially this past week, like I haven't had that much time to prepare, but I know what we're gonna be talking about today. But it's just this past week. It's the last week before it's fall break, and kids gotta get their grades in or their assignments in. So, there's that. So I totally understand. So no worries.
I'm on the opposite train. My midterms start like this week, upcoming week, and
Ooh,
I think because of the structure of my classes, my midterms gonna last 3 weeks.
that's scary. That's scary. Like, thank
Yeah, so
God
the
I'm
next
no longer in that
week,
situation.
yeah, so the next 3 weeks, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna be swamped with like essays and projects. It's gonna be like, oh God, just give me the A.
Oh man. Well, chat, go ahead and give Cindy some well wishes and good luck on her exams coming up. So, again, I am live streaming this, and I'm gonna start recording because I totally forgot. Actually, you know what? It's okay. I can save it. I can save it for my Twitch. No worries. But bonjour to everybody in the chat. And so what I'm gonna do is what we're gonna start off with first is taking a look at the assignments that I gave you, and we're just gonna take a look at one of them. And I just wanted to talk about something. So go ahead and I'll open this one up, or I'll send this in to you in the chat. We're gonna open this one up, and then um, you can follow along. And then I'm gonna be following along on my Twitch as well. So we're gonna be taking a look at assignment number 2. Okay?
Okay. I think you also gave it to me like a whole folder too.
Yes. So because I did give you that whole folder of like assignments and stuff, I am gonna just like tell you which ones you can, which ones you should do, and then we'll take a look at them at the next time. That way you don't have to get like overwhelmed with extra assignments and stuff. But like even if you don't have time to do them, just take a look at them and just like go over in your head of what you can and cannot. All right, so we're gonna take a look at assignment number 2. And for those of you following along my Twitch, my YouTube, if you folks are interested, leave a comment below or something and let me know if you folks are interested in getting some of these assignments as well. Again, I am a high school teacher, so a lot of these assignments are coming straight from my classes, more or less. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So this is français niveau 1, devoir numéro 2. Donc, common expressions or les expressions communes or quotidiennes. Why are there formal and informal ways to say things? Give examples. So, and you have here, there are formal and informal ways to say things because age, superiority, experience all play a critical role in determining whether one is a higher or lower social standing. Correct. Very, very much so like any Asian language, much like the Chinese we study together. So, formal ways to say things would be like if you were to say, Comment allez-vous? How's it going? Versus comment vas-tu? How's it going? Comment allez-vous, which we will learn in maybe I think 2 lessons from now. Comment allez-vous is the formal way, like vous is the formal way to say like you, to address someone you. And so social standing, meaning like if they have a higher job than you, profession, manager, or if someone, it's like plus âgé. Plus âgé meaning more aged than you. I guess in French they're very blunt, right? They're very frank. So more aged is like the better of the term. In English, it's a little. I mean, I guess it's in English. It's like you don't like telling people, "Oh, you're so much older than me," you know, right?
Yeah.
So, but I guess in French, it's more like accepted to say like "oh plus âgé," more aged. But yes, an example of 2 ways of saying "excuse me," "excusez-moi." It's like a little bit more formal, and then "pardon" is informal. Correct. Okay, so I mean, you could use them interchangeably. To be quite honest, in France, and French people sound off below. Uh, otherwise, but yes, pardon if you bumped into someone on the street, or pardon, pardon, or excusez-moi if you're trying to get someone's attention, like a little bit more formally. Okay, so taking a look at the other examples below. Hello, 2 ways. Bonjour, salut. So the 2 ways meaning the formal and the informal way. You also have goodbye, which is au revoir. Ciao. Please is s'il vous plaît. And this is really well written as well. Um, and honestly, the special characters don't really make a huge difference uh, when you're speaking, but written, yeah, it kind of does, but not a big deal. Okay, so that caret on the top of the I in play is called a circumflex. Did I tell you that?
I think you did, and then I think you tried to explain how I could like type it out on the keyboard, but then I tried it and I couldn't get it.
No worries, no worries. It's okay. But for everyone who has a Mac, if you press the Option and then you press I, so you hold Option, press I, and then you press I again. Yep. And then thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. So beaucoup is a lot, or very much in this case. So merci beaucoup. Merci is just fine as well. Have a good meal. Bon appétit. And have a good trip. Bon voyage. Bon travail. Okay. And how do you address a married woman? Madame. This also goes for like teachers as well. If you are a female teacher, I've most of the time I call my teachers Madame, even if like they are single, and unmarried. I think it's just out of a respect thing unless they correct me. So most times they don't correct me, so I usually just call them Madame. Or if in like or if in emails and stuff, they would comment, they would have like MLLE, Mademoiselle Dudois, for example. Okay, so MLLE, this is the abbreviation for Mademoiselle. So if at the very end, in an email or something they put Mademoiselle, or they put that, then I will call them Mademoiselle. But for like respect purposes and just because I don't know, I usually call them Madame. Okay.
Would you say that like just for anyone older than you, like a female that's just older than you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of just towards Madame?
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine. Out of respect. And then how do you address a man you've never met before? Monsieur. And honestly, Monsieur is just universal. And then later on, I will teach you also a little bit more slang as well. So like mon mec, or un gars, une femme, things like that. But that's not a big deal right now. So, bon travail. So, the last part is a little bit of numbers. So, excuse me. We're taking a look at this. What is the pattern? 10, 20, 30. I was looking at that. I was like, what is quartet? Quartet.
In my defense, I did this like right before we did the like the 30 to 70.
Oh, right. Which,
At that
okay,
point,
fair.
like, so at that point I was just like, I'm just gonna guess what the structure
Hey,
is
good,
then.
good guess though. Honestly, good guess. You want to fill this in? You want to correct this for me? So, what should it be instead?
Uh,
And what is that? How do you say that?
Hampton?
Répétez 40.
Caron?
40. Yep.
Caron.
Again, French R, not a huge problem, but 40.
Okay.
Like again, hakalugi. 40.
Caron.
And then répétez 50.
Second.
All right. So, next we have 6, 12, 12, 18, 24, and 30. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Bon. Bon travail. And then last one, 11, 22, 30. Ooh, okay. And again, you probably did this before, what was that, 30?
Yeah. 30 to 70.
No worries. So, 33, and then 44. And then I'll just change that for you. 44, and then 55. Okay. Bon travail. So and then if this were my actual class, you would get like half a point off for each like misspelling, but it's not an actual like class, so not a big deal as long as you know what it is now. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
All right. Alrighty. So let's go back and take a look at our Jamboard. Bienvenue. That's in French. So do you have the oh, you have it open. Perfect. Okay, so Cindy, can you tell me a little bit about what we learned last week or last time?
Last time it was learning the days of the week
Mm-hmm.
and then the months and then a little bit of like the structure of dates and then 30 to 70.
Good. Boom. Alrighty, so let's talk about it. Quels sont les jours de la semaine? What am I asking you? Quels sont les jours de la semaine?
What is today's date? Or what is today's like day?
Nope. So what I'm saying is quels sont les jours? What are the days de la semaine of the week? So if you're on slide 6 with me, then we'll take a look up here. So quels sont, literally, so this whole sentence, quels sont les jours de la semaine? This means what are the days of the week? So remember, like soup du jour, soup of the day. So you have that word jour meaning day, and semaine means week.
Okay.
Okay, so if I ask you quels sont les jours, what are the days, les jours de la semaine? What are the days of the week? Okay, and how would we answer that?
Lundi,
Mm-hmm.
mardi,
Mm-hmm.
mercredi,
Bon.
jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche.
Bon. So lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, et dimanche. All right, and then, so I just want to ask you, aujourd'hui c'est quel jour? Aujourd'hui c'est quel jour?
Aujourd'hui, c'est samedi.
C'est samedi. Bon. Okay, so aujourd'hui meaning today, and then c'est quel jour? This is how you would ask, what day is it? So c'est quel jour? What day is it? And then aujourd'hui meaning today. And if I asked you again, demain c'est quel jour?
Demain, c'est dimanche.
Demain c'est dimanche. Bon. So demain meaning tomorrow. Demain meaning tomorrow. And if you folks following along have watched my previous videos, we did talk about some phrases, and we learned à demain meaning see you tomorrow, right here. So à demain, see you tomorrow. Alrighty, so moving on from days of the week, quels sont les mois de l'année? Quels sont les mois de l'année? What am I asking you?
What are the months of the year?
Correct. So again, les mois. I guess mois kind of sounds like months. There are a lot of things that mois could sound like as well, but quels sont les mois de l'année? Année meaning like annual, anniversary, year. So it means year. Okay, so quels sont les mois de l'année, and how will we answer this? Les mois de l'année sont.
Les mois de l'année sont
Mhm.
janvier.
Janvier.
Sorry.
Janvier. So you pronounce the J. Janvier.
Janvier.
Mhm.
Février.
Bon.
Mars.
Mhm.
Avril. Mai.
Juin.
Juin. Juillet.
Mhm.
Août.
Août.
Septembre. Octobre. Novembre. December.
Okay, répétez. So starting from juillet. So juillet.
Juillet.
Août.
Août.
Septembre.
Septembre.
So the re at the end, it usually makes the r sound. So it's septembre. Septembre. We usually don't say bre like that unless it has an accent mark. So septembre.
September.
Yep, exactly. And octobre.
October.
Novembre.
November.
Et décembre.
December.
Well, all right. So, if I wanted to ask you the date, quelle est la date aujourd'hui? Quelle est la date aujourd'hui?
Aujourd'hui, c'est le... What is it? Oh, 3? October.
Yep, aujourd'hui, c'est le 3 octobre. One more time, say it with me. Aujourd'hui,
Aujourd'hui,
c'est le 3 octobre.
c'est le 3 octobre.
Boom. Okay. And then let's see. We also learned how to say, what is your birthday? Which is the same thing. So, quelle est la date de ton anniversaire?
C'est le 3 mai.
C'est le 3 mai. Okay, now you ask me, what is my birthday?
Quelle est la date? How do you say?
So, répétez. Quelle est la date
Quelle est la date
de ton anniversaire?
de ton anniversaire?
So, quelle est la date de ton anniversaire? One more time.
Quelle est la date de ton anniversaire?
Bon. Okay, quelle est la date de ton anniversaire? Moi, c'est le 8 septembre. Okay, so quelle est? So the EST, we're gonna learn this, I believe, next week. But EST, it makes that A sound. It literally means is. So what is the date of your birthday? C'est le 8 septembre. Bon. Alrighty. And then we're going to review the numbers just a little bit after this. But let's talk about our newest lesson. So we're going to move over to page 8. And this is going to be one of the biggest lessons we're going to be learning, okay? And it is... quelle heure est-il? Quelle heure est-il? Okay, so can you give me like an educated guess of what you think I might be asking you? Quelle heure est-il?
What is the time?
Yeah, exactly. Quelle heure est-il? What is the time? So, or what time is it? Oops. What time is it? Quelle heure est-il? And let's see. So, sorry, give me one sec. Oops. Let me open something up real fast. Oops. I thought I had it open, but let's see. Actually, I don't need it. All right. So, In English, how would we say this? How would we say this in English?
1 o'clock.
Or if you were to say it is you would say it is 1 o'clock, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
1 o'clock, right? So, in order to say this in French, oops. Okay, we say il, est 1 heure. Okay, il est 1 heure. So it is 1 o'clock. It literally means it is 1 hour.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So air is the hour.
Yep. So répétez heure.
Air.
Yep. It's like saying her, but without the h sound. So
Oh, air.
Yeah, exactly. So il est 1 heure.
Air.
So say the whole thing. Il est 1 heure.
Il est 1 heure.
Boom. Exactement. Il est 1 heure. Okay, now we're gonna get a little bit advanced. I'm kidding. So next we have this one. Okay, it is 1:05, and let me tell you, it's gonna blow your mind how we're gonna say this in French. Okay. Il est 1h05.
So it's like, it's literally, it is 1 hour plus 5?
Yep, literally 1 hour 5. Because actually in European, I guess I'm actually not too sure about this, but I know in France, the way that they write time is this. They write it like this. So instead of the colon, you have literally 1h05.
Oh, so it's, okay.
Yeah, so this
So
actually, yeah.
Spell it,
Mm-hmm.
or how they say it.
Yep. So I feel like this was a lot easier to like understand if I write it like 1h05, because it's literally 1 heure, so 1 hour and 5.
Yeah, it literally tells you how you should say it.
Yep. So what I'll do is I'm gonna move this over, put this here. Okay, il est 1h05, and then what I'm gonna do now is, instead of doing that 1:5, I'm gonna do 1 heure. Okay, so can you make an educated guess, and what would this be in French?
Il est 1h10.
Yep, exactement. Il est 1h10. Boom. Exactement. Il est 1h10. Okay. So now here's where we get a little bit more. Here's where we add on to this now. Okay. So there are two ways you could say this. And as a French teacher, I make sure that my students know how to say both. Okay. So what is the first way we could say this? What is one way we could say this? And you already know how to say it.
Il est 1h18.
What is wait?
No,
Cans. Boom. Il est 1h15. Okay, il est 1h15. And this is why it's also important to know your numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, we'll work on more numbers and stuff too after this. But so il est 1h15. Or here's a little bit more, I guess traditional way to say this. I don't know how to explain that, but I make sure that my students know this. So il est 1h15. Il est 1h15.
Il est 1h15.
Car. So it's like saying car. It's like saying car, except no T.
Car.
Il est 1h15.
Il est 1h15.
Boom. Il est 1h15. Okay, so this means it is 1 hour and a quarter. So a quarter of an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yep, yep.
I see it.
So, il est 1h15. Okay. So everything after this. So after this, you have what? One. I'm gonna just go like 125. Okay. There's only one way to say this. Oops. Il est 1h25. Oops. Il est 1h25. But then we get into this one. Oops. Okay. Let me know if I'm going a little bit too fast.
Okay.
Okay. But do you have all of this copied down?
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. So, of course, you can say il est 1h30 because 1:30. But the little bit more traditional way you would say is il est 1h30. Is it demi? Oh, demi. Yeah, et demi. Il est 1h30.
Il est une heure
Et
et
demi.
demie.
Yep. Il est 1h. Excuse me. Et demi.
Et demie.
Okay. So a demi literally means and a half.
Okay.
So demi in general, like in French, means half. Like demi-tasse is half a glass. Demi-glace is half glazed or something. I'm blanking out on that.
Demigod.
Yeah, exactly. So a demi. Except this one, we want to make sure that you have an e on here. Okay.
Okay.
So. Alrighty. So. And then you can say il est 1h35, il est 1h40. Now we're going to go into il est 1h45. So this one is also important. This one is also special. Okay, because there are two ways you can say this. Well, yeah, there are two ways you can say this. So the first one we know, il est 1h, and what is 45?
Carol.
Yep.
Same.
45. Boom. One more time. Try to say it. What is 45? Oops.
Carol. Same.
45. Boom. So this is where it gets a little bit complicated. All right. So il est 1h45. Okay, and the other way, il est. Okay, here's the other way to say this. Il est 2h moins le quart.
Like 3 out of 4. That would probably be one cow.
So, what does il est 2h mean? What do you think il est 2h means?
There's a 2, right?
So, il est 2h is
second hour.
Or second hour or 2 o'clock, correct? Okay, and
so it's a quarter before the second hour.
Correct, yeah, exactly. But so can you tell me, you've seen moi before in your assignment. Do you remember what it means?
Minus.
Yep, exactly. So it is 2 o'clock or 2 hours minus the quarter.
Oh, okay.
So just like you said, it is 15 minutes before the second hour, 15 minutes before the next hour.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So my students kind of got confused on this when we first started learning this, just because it's like minus the quarter, 15 minutes before the hour, huh? Okay. I think one of the things that I'm going to like review with them next time around for the when I'm teaching French 1 is maybe give them a little bit more visual things. So il est 2h moins le quart. maybe this would make sense a little bit more. It is 2 o'clock minus 15 minutes is equal to 1:45. I don't know if that makes sense to you. To me, it makes sense visually as well.
That would make sense. I think also if you have like an actual picture of a clock.
I
Maybe if they
also
just know like the
usually
actual,
do,
like,
yeah.
like 15, 15, 15, 15.
True. I just wasn't as prepared today. Usually I had like a whole like screen full of clocks. It's just today, yeah, it was one of those days. And I apologize.
I get it. I have a clock in the room right now, so yeah, I can see it.
Parfait. Bon. Okay. So, il est 2 heures moins le quart. So, répétez. Il est 1h45.
Il est 1h45.
Bon. And then, il est 2 heures moins le quart.
Il est 2 heures moins le quart.
Bon, exactement. So, another thing that I want you to notice before we move to the next one is I want you to know that there is an S here on Earl. Okay, underline that. That's super important. Why do you think that there's an S there?
Because it's literally like 2 hours.
So
more than one.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay. So that's also another thing that maybe my students didn't understand or didn't comprehend. Maybe it's also because like you have language experience. But if you notice, il est 1 heure, there's no S because there's only 1 hour, right? A single hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Versus il est 2 heures, there are 2 hours now. So there's multiple hours. You add an S. It's like saying 1 minute versus 2 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or 1 hour versus 2 hours in English.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I told them that when I was teaching them this. Like, you know, all of the things that you learn after the fact, right? Okay, so
It's like a second quarter review.
you're right. You're exactly right. Okay, so we're almost finished with this section. So everything after this will carry over as well. So let's talk about 150. What do I have on my notes? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there you go. So 150. Okay. Again, what is one way you can say this?
Il est un cinquante.
50. Il est 1h50. Okay, and then if it makes it easier, like again, CINQ, like cinq and cinquante, it sounds like you're saying sank, like the boat sank.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Cinquante, so cinq and cinquante.
Cinquante. Okay.
Yep, exactement. Okay, so we're gonna follow the same principle here. We're gonna follow the same principle here. So moi le quart, except instead of moi le quart, we're gonna talk about minus 10. Okay. So I'm just gonna fill this in for you. So il est 2 heures moins 10. Okay. Il est 2 heures moins 10.
Il est 10 heures moins 10.
Moins 10. Okay, one more time. Il est 2 heures moins 10.
Il est 2 heures moins 10.
Boom. Except the S's are usually silent, so il est 2 heures moins 10.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you would write the S, but not say the S.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what French kind of like I don't want to say screwy, but like one of the harder languages to like speak, because you have all of these letters, but you don't say it. Go figure, right?
Which letter not to say.
Yeah, it's all a learning process too. Okay, so il est 2 heures moins 10. Again, making sure that you have the S here. In Earl. Oops. Where is it? in heure. Okay, moins 10. So it is 2 hours minus 10. If I were to write it out, I would put 2 o'clock minus 10 minutes equals 150. Okay, in English. Okay, so whoops. So can you tell me what would you put if it was 155? So I'm gonna put this here. So I'm gonna put this here, and I want you to fill this in for me. What do you think this would be?
Can I write on this?
Yeah. You have edit access.
I have to type on this? I don't think editing needs. Oh, edit. Okay. Il est bon.
That's one way. Yeah. What is 55? 55?
55? Oh. 55. Six.
55. Boom.
So that would be saying was it Q? How do you?
55.
I forgot how to sing. Oh, CINQ.
Yep.
CINQ. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one would be sorry. And then the other one will be
Mm-hmm.
moi cinq.
There you go. Let me see it. So il est 2h moins 5. Il est 1h55. So add an N on 50.
Oh, add an N?
Yep, CINQ.
Is there an N after the I?
Yep, CINQ. 50.
NQ.
There you go. Boom. Exactement. Il est 1h55. Il est 2h moins 5.
Okay.
I know, usually I have like a bunch of like clocks and stuff, so it looks better visually rather than having just numbers. But you know what else I could do? I could just draw like a circle and then like do like really crude numbers. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I have I'm gonna do this. I have, oh, what the heck?
Your clock disappeared.
I know. Let me just blank clock. I literally just Googled it and then I took it from the internet and then I used it. So here's what I'm gonna do.
As we all do with all of our assignments.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I got this. Because normally I have like I'm a I do all the technical support stuff while my mentor teacher does all the other stuff too. So it's like I have all of this stuff prepared, but when I'm like both at the same time. All right. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay, and so before we get into that, let's finish this up. And you already know how to say 2 o'clock. Yep, il est 2h. Okay, and then same thing, it would just be 2:00, or in English, it would be 2:00. Okay, so everything else after this is very applicable to, okay, so if it were 3 o'clock, what do you think 3 o'clock would be? It is 3 o'clock. How would you say that?
Il est 3 heures.
Il est 3h. Bon. Okay, what if I wanted to say, can Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Comment tu dis? I'm gonna say comment tu dis. That means how would you say? Okay, so comment tu dis 3 o'clock? Or sorry, 3:05. Comment tu dis 3:05?
Il est 3
Mm-hmm.
heures 5.
Il est 3:05. Boom, exactement. Okay, so for example, right now, let's take a look at the clock on the right. So right now it is 10:41. Okay, I'm trying to make this as accurate as possible. How would you say that? 10:41.
10 heures
Mm-hmm.
41
Mm-hmm.
41.
Yep, 41. 41. Boom, exactement, exactement. Okay, so let's see. You know what else I could do? I'm going to copy this. Can I paste it? Oh, yes. Yes, I can. Oh, let me make this smaller. Okay, so copy, paste, 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 paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some clocks for you. And then I want you to tell me or write underneath what time it is. Okay? Alrighty. So give me a sec. Let me get some random times on here. And then there's also one more thing that I need to teach you before we finish the time, because there's a second half to this time. There's a second half to time, but we'll get to that next week. Okay? Okay, so we're gonna go 11, 15. Oh, that's really... Why is that not centered? I don't like that. See, this is all the behind the scenes stuff. Like, this is all the stuff that I should have already prepared for my classes, but I don't have it today, and I apologize. Je suis désolé.
Nah, so first day, what, after the end of fall?
And let me tell you, fall break, last day of school was yesterday, and I'm on my fall break now, and I got super drunk last night. Not gonna lie, I was like partying with my teacher friends, playing some video games, and getting drunk every time that we lost.
That's like the euphoria that I want to feel. But
Soon.
College doesn't have breaks.
Soon, Cindy, soon.
Not in the fall, at least.
Okay, so you can get started with the top three.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to write this down if you want to draw the clocks on in your notes, that works. That's great. Or if you want to like just write it out, that's fine too.
Okay.
Gosh. Okay, and then making sure you're spelling Earl correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. Just taking a look at the first one, that is correct. Il est 11h15. So that is one way to say it, right? But well, you could also put it the other way as well. But one thing to make sure that what do you need on Earl? You're missing a letter on Earl. How many hours is it?
Sorry, what?
How many hours is it?
Oh, yeah, it's more than 1 hour.
Yep. There you go. And no worries, my this is your first time getting introduced to this, so it's totally fine. Okay, that is something my students will also forget, so it's totally fine.
I end up forgetting. That's right. You guys actually count like the individual hours. It's like sets of like numbers.
And oh, wait. Oops. Just do that. Okay, and then I'm going to do this. Oops. Sorry, where's my face? Okay. Okay, so if I were to put this there. Okay, yeah. Oops. Just. Oh, I can do that too. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And for those following along at home, feel free to also copy down the clocks, write it in, and write out your answer. So this bottom one you don't have to worry about yet. This is what I'm going to be teaching you next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it 55?
Yes, that's 55. Yes.
Is that 55 or 54 for 11?
We're gonna say it's 55. It's 55. Yeah, it's 55. Oops.
Now you're just gonna see me casually forget. Like, how do I read an analog clock? It's like I swear I know how to read it.
No, that's why it's super important that I do this kind of stuff, especially and have the analog clock. Analog clock. Yeah, analog clock on here because kids nowadays don't know how to read it.
Yeah.
So like as a French teacher, it's ironic that I'm teaching them math, I'm teaching them science sometimes, I teach them English, and I teach them like life skills.
How does one read an analog clock? It's like I swear I know how to do it. I was raised in the 90s.
My favorite pastime. Oops. All right. So while you finish that last one, I'm gonna just take a look at these at the ones that you've already corrected or done. So il est 11h15, boom. And also the other way you can say this is il est 11h et quart. Il est 11h et quart. So it is 11. Oops, let me just move this down. Il est 11h et quart. It is 11:15 or 11 hours and a quarter. Okay, bon. Il est 3h35. And what I also didn't tell you, or maybe I may have, maybe it wasn't clear. Another way you can say il est 3h35 is you could also do 25 minutes before. So moins 25. So I'll show you. So il est 4h.
Want to subtract it from the next hour? It would start after the 30.
Yes. So yeah, and you only do that. You only do like moins 25, moins 20, whatever. On fives. Okay, if it were like 46 or if it was 47, 57, you just say straight up the number. You don't do, yeah, it's always exact numbers, exact like by fives.
Okay. So you have a minute to tell someone what the time is before you have to completely switch over to a new
I
structure.
mean, yeah, but that's why usually because that's usually the traditional way, like to say like moi cinq or whatever. But that's why most people nowadays just say it like oh il est 45, il est 1h45. You know, it is 1:45. Literally just 1:45. Sorry, I hope you guys can see this. So il est 4h moins 25. And that's why I am teaching you two ways to say this, because you may hear both if you're ever to talk to someone, especially another language learner. They might try to flex their skills and be like, oh, il est 4h moins 25. When in actuality, you can just say it is 3:25 or 3:35. Il est 3h35.
I'm honored you think I would catch the difference like right away.
No, but I mean, if you can understand tones in Chinese, you can understand the casualties and subtleties in French.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on. Il est 6h45. And again, the other way would be il est 7h, making sure to do the hour ahead, right? So we're talking about it is 15 minutes before 7, so il est 7h moins le quart. Make sense? Okay. Il est 3h55, or also il est 4h moins 5. I'll just write that. 4h moins 5. Oh, I'm sweating. My AC is off.
It's been like these past few days has been unbearably hot.
I know. Il est 4h moins 5. And then il est 8h05. Boom, exactement with the S. And then il est 10h20. Boom. Bon travail. Exactement. Okay. So the last thing that I'm gonna be teaching you, this is because this is a really big lesson and this is kind of confusing as well. So we're going to be reviewing this all the time. It's one of the most practical things we're going to be learning as well, at least for the preliminary stuff before you get into the grammar. Right? Because like you need to tell the time.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, go ahead. What is that?
Does the French do like military time to differentiate
Yes.
between like PM and AM?
Yes. So that is next week's lesson.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Because if we did that lesson and this lesson, we would be going over time. And I don't want to keep you any longer than I should. So that's why we're going to go into that next week. And so we're going to learn the 24-hour military time. And it's basically like, if you're familiar with it, of course, like you just add 12 hours or subtract 12 hours. And then we're going to be learning the rest of the numbers. Okay, but let's finish up this lesson this week. So, what time is this? Quelle heure est-il? Here, in English, what is it?
Well, either PM or AM.
Yep, so exactly. You would say either it's noon or it's midnight, right? So, there are two ways to say that. Okay. Okay, so, répétez. Il est midi.
Il est midi.
And il est minuit.
Il est minuit.
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 Minuit. Yep. Like kind of like saying wheat, like the number wheat. Minuit.
Oh, minuit.
Yep. So you would say minuit.
Il est minuit.
Yep. Il est minuit. Il est midi.
Il est midi.
Yep. And then one last thing that I'm gonna tell you is how to say in the morning, in the afternoon. Oh, I can't do accents. What the heck? I forgot. I'm on my PC. Rip my accents. And du soir. Let me just change that here. Okay. So, répétez. Du matin.
Du matin.
And de l'après-midi.
De l'après-midi.
And du soir.
Du soir.
Bon. So, If you've ever seen, like, if you ever go to the movies and you're talking about a matinee, that means like an earlier showing, right?
Uh-huh.
So matin means kind of like morning time or like early time.
Uh-huh.
So matin is morning. So if I wanted to say it is 1 o'clock in the morning, il est 1 heure du matin.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So if so répétez, il est 1 heure du matin.
Il est une heure du matin.
Exactement. Bon, il est 1 heure du matin. Okay. And then we have de l'après-midi. Répétez, de l'après-midi.
De l'après-midi.
Exactly. So if midi means noon, de l'après-midi means in the afternoon. So après means after. So literally in the afternoon. Okay, so if I wanted to say, same thing, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you would say, il est 1 heure de l'après-midi.
Il est une heure de l'après-midi.
Exactement. Bon, one more time, il est 1 heure de l'après-midi.
Il est une heure de l'après-midi.
Bon. Okay, and then du soir, we've seen soir before. Where have we seen it?
I just saw soirée.
Soirée? Oh yeah, exactly. So like exactly. That sounds so weird. Soirée meaning like a nighttime or evening party. Okay, or also bonsoir. Good evening. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So du soir meaning in the evening. So if I wanted to say, let's say 8 o'clock in the evening, how would you say that? 8 o'clock in the evening.
Il est. What was the 8? Il est 8 heures. Du soir.
Il est 8 heures du soir. Boom, exactement. Okay. So this is going to be the lesson for today. Before we wrap up, let's talk about a little bit of numbers as well, because it's going to build and build and build. Okay. So let's start with counting from 1 to 10. All right. Or yeah, 1 to 10. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And then let's count from 11 to 20. This is also very important. Ready? And 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so now we're gonna count by tens, all from 10 all the way up to, where are we? From 10 all the way up to 70. Okay. So starting with 10. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40. You can say 40, that's fine. Yep, 40.
Is it basically like carrot with an N?
Yeah, 40. Yeah. Carrot or 40.
Okay.
Yeah. That works.
That's the only way I'm gonna remember.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever works for you. Yeah. 40 or carrot, 40. Yep. And then you have 50. And 60. And then we learned this as well, 70. I know a lot of my students want to say 60. It's like it's a mouthful. 60. Okay, 70. All right. Bon travail. And then next time when we review numbers again, I'm gonna definitely have you do this solo. Can?
I will diligently study the numbers this week.
Alrighty. So, if before we go, do you have any questions about any of the numbers or any of the time things that we learned today?
No, not right now. I'll message you if I have anything.
Oh, definitely. Okay. So, for the next class, what I want you to do, we have the whole like all the assignments that I sent you up to maybe I think 12 or 11. The one that I want you to do is assignment number 7 or devoir number 7. Okay, because
Number
it
7.
has a mix of the common expressions, dates,
Okay.
and time. Okay, so
Got
whenever
it.
you have time, even if you don't, we can do it together
Mhm.
if you aren't able to get to it. So no
Mhm.
problem. Okay, but if you do, if you can, number 7.
Mhm.
Alrighty. So with that said, thank you so much, Cindy, again for joining me, for letting me give you and provide this lesson.
Thank you for teaching me
And
and being patient with my bad pronunciation right now.
oh, don't even worry about it. Let me tell you, I was exactly the same way when I started. So we all got to start somewhere. So thank you. Thank you so much for bearing with me. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Please check out my videos on YouTube. All the previous lessons, I have them posted at Mr. McPenguin. I should put that in the bio or something. But Mr. McPenguin on YouTube. And I will be posting this lesson on YouTube as well within the coming week. So with that said, au revoir, à bientôt. Et I will see you next week à la semaine prochaine. Bye, everybody.